And the question is, how do we, as male and female, begin to live with each other so that we can express ourselves and create for ourselves a generation that is human, together, connected with the ethnic, ethnological, cultural, historical personhood of what masculinity is all about.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, Bishop. I mean, you are hitting it hard. When you say what masculinity is all about, I believe that the chief ingredient to masculinity is power. And when you remove power from the masculine equation, you don't have a man, you have a male. And the danger that we have now with the colonial system is that it put in perspective, in operation, a self-sustained system of masculine emasculation of black men. You don't have to govern a black man to self-destruct and to be dysfunctional by system. In ancient times, Bishop, books were not opened like this. They were opened this way. Because there's a gender to education. Education means bachelors. Because it was a bachelor's, you were not allowed to marry.
There's no spinster. You don't get a spinster.
No, it's
you get a bachelor's degree.
Because the gender of
masculine.
education is masculine. Honors for the honored one. Master for a master. Now you realize that you've got a female, which is good for her to be educated. She goes to school, and you're a businessman who's self-made, a hustler. You sponsor your wife to go to school. She becomes a master and has MBA. I need you to understand that when she's graduating, it is literally a full ceremony. They dress her with a gown, they give her things, then they coronate her, and then they impart on her a master's degree. I will tell you, the woman who you married is not the woman who's got masters. And if you don't develop at her level, you become a stranger in her world. And now you talk to her and says that you no longer fit in my space. He said, I sent you to school. Yeah, you sent her to school, but now a master has risen in her. And this is where people don't realize that you do not allow your woman to outgrow you, because a woman always is designed to look up to a man. What's killing our households today is that we've got men whom women cannot look up to. It is difficult, Bishop, for a woman to respect a man she's taking care of. It is difficult for a woman.
Slowly. Go slowly. I know you have lost in your spirit, but I want you to go slowly. It's difficult for a woman to respect a man
that she's taking care
of, looking after.
It is difficult for her to respect a man she's feeding. It is difficult for her to respect a man that she's trusting.
She's buying airtime for.
She's buying airtime for. What she has is a baby with a penis. So you're not a man, you're a vibrator.
I've seen a statement somewhere where the women are saying, why must I worry about a sausage when I own the pig? In other words, this woman is saying, you want to give me a pig sausage, which is a small little piece of skin hanging between your legs, when I actually have a whole crawl full of pigs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Malcolm X moved to Elijah Muhammad and asked him a question. I want to marry a woman. What must I do? Elijah Muhammad, the Honorable, called him and said, son, if you are going to marry a woman, stand up. Don't marry a woman who's taller than you. Because if a woman is taller than you, you look up to her, she looks down to you. No woman is ever motivated by a man that she speaks by looking at, because it is figurative, but it's actually functional. Don't marry a woman who's shoulder to shoulder, eyeball to eyeball, because you'll see you as an equal. The nature and desire for a woman is to be equal to a man. If she's already an equal, she has nothing that stretches her to be elevated. Marry a woman who's a shoulder length. Shorter.
And by the way, the Black Book says Eve was to the shoulder of Adam.
Absolutely.
You know, for the Christians, of course.
Yes, sir. But we don't understand that. Now you have a problem, because the physiology of your relationship is working against you, because psychologically we say that 97% of communication is physiology. So if you are physiologically imbalanced, it means that you literally can't understand each other. So all these things in nature, it tells us when a lion pees here to mark territory, the other one that is smelling that urine is not smelling urine. It's smelling the age, it's smelling the weight, it's smelling the size, it's smelling the stamina, the power. It can tell that I cannot challenge this lion by marking territory. We do not have black men that can mark territory.
Who can pee
on their daughters and say this is a man.
Yeah, man.
Pee in communities and say this is the footprint of a man. A man, sir, is the first non-romantic encounter with a woman. He's a reference point of what a man is or not. So if we don't have that pee, the smell of urine with the genetic information, of what my father is, what a father is not, what a father should be.
Strength of my father.
Absolutely, sir.
I passed a statement the other day which got me in trouble also, where I said, before you make a woman pregnant, you must pee.
Yeah.
P is for territory. Sperm is for procreation.
Come on, sir.
And without territory, it is illegal to reproduce.
Absolutely.
So a lion will walk around a range of 15 to 20 kilometers peeing on trees and peeing on bushes. And once the territory is marked, then sperm is for reproduction. But how do we, as modern 21st century men, pee to mark our territory?
Yeah.
Because in as much, truly speaking, I wish, and I think I'm going to do it, I want to interview women who can tell me on my face, I don't want security. I don't want to be protected.
Come on, sir.
I don't want to live in a territory. I don't want to feel safe. I don't want my door opened. I don't want to be taken first. I don't want to be asked, how are you feeling? I don't want flowers.
Yeah. Yes,
I don't want, how are you, my darling? I'm still looking for those women. And according to your explanation, these women actually misconfigured because they can no longer relate to their feminine side. But even the most powerful woman in the world, take flowers to her and say, happy birthday. Tell me you will not see a smile on the face. Because it has nothing to do with politics. It is genetically entwined in the nature of women, that they must be appreciated.
Yes, sir.
They must be loved. And they must feel protected. They must feel safe.
Yes, sir.
They must feel covered.
Yes, sir.
And a woman, when there's a noise outside, a woman must be able to say, hey, I hear a sound. And the man must stand up and run to the door. But if our women says, no, I want to be a man. I want to get under the car. I want to fix the tires myself. I want to get on the roof and I want to fix. I want to change the bulbs myself. I want to be a man. We already have men around, for crying out loud. We're not looking for other men. Men are men of war. And I wrote a statement the other day. Says, my hands are built for war.
Come on, sir.
And if you fall in my hands and you're looking for war, you will get it.
Yeah.
But if you fall in these hands, you're looking for love and affection, then ask me. And then the romantic side of me will come forward. But if you say you want me to become the man, then I have no feelings. I have no emotions. I have no understanding.
Yes, sir.
You cry and I say, wipe your hair, wipe your face. You cry, say, go to the toilet, pick up a piece of tissue. Because there's no emotion. Because if you want the man of war,
he comes out.
I can cut a man's head off and wipe the blood on my shirt and walk away. I can poke a spear in your side and lick it as Mama Ngadla and walk away. And there's nothing. Because men are built for war.
Yes.
And if our modern women are saying, we are looking for men, the question is, what type of man are you really looking for? And if you must excite men in their militancy, are those the men you want to live with in their romance? And what are we producing? Are we producing husbands or are we producing soldiers?
Come on, sir. Come
and
on.
you marry a soldier and you want romance. Hey, Vincent, hold me before I lose my head. Hold me before
You're killing me, sir.
I'm just losing my head. These are moments, of course, when Maponga J, you get an opportunity once in a while in the midst of a comfortable conversation that I can actually maybe just drive a little bit and maybe you can begin to hear what is in the depth of my spirit.
Yes, sir.
We don't want more women in the boardrooms. No, we have enough. When women come in the boardroom, we want women to come in the boardroom. And when they come in the boardroom, we want them to protect women, not become masculine and further develop the agenda of masculinity within the workspace. You find us saying maternity leave is 3 months, and there you are as a director in a company. And say, yes, 3 months. But you're a woman. Can a woman do maternity leave for 3 months or for 6 months or for 1 year? Why not walk into these spaces of masculinity and begin to insert feminine
energy
issues,
yes,
feminine
sir.
energies,
yes, sir.
and help the masculine testosterone, which has nothing to do with passion, feeling, children, love, and care. Now that you are here with us as a director, as a CEO, What difference will it make that now the policy is looking at you in the eye and you can sign it to say she must go for 3 months maternity leave or 6 months? Why, as a woman, do you find it difficult to sign on the 6 months and you still sign on the 3 months? Because profit is more important than people.
Come on, sir.
We don't want women in boardrooms. But this is where I get in trouble because I pass those strong statements. We don't want women in boardrooms who will come to the boardrooms as men. We already have men here. 60% men already in the top management. When a woman comes here, please come as a woman. Detox, remanage, realign, tone down, and bring out. And by the way, some of the most horrible people in employment are women oppressing other women.
That's too deep.
Do this.
Then GBV, that violence against the female, is literally an expression of self-hate, number one. Also, it is suppressed. It is suppressed anger. I think that this man is, the world as we have it, is literally displacing men. You get a manual. A woman gets a gadget. There's a manual. That word is manual. It's man and you are. Literally the removal of men from advising the assembly of what you bought. Long ago, our
get a vibrator.
You get a vibrator. Now, actually, a woman, a woman say, who's used to the stimuli of a vibrator can never be stimulated by the tongue of a man, because that thing uses a battery that moves at a particular speed. No matter if that clitoris, Bishop, has mutated itself from being stimulated by a vibrator, when she has you will never actually climax her to the level of a machine, because she's been mechanicalized to a vibrator.
She's no longer a human being.
She's a robot. She's Dr. Robotnik.
You must buy, actually you must get a 3-pin plug, a 2-pin plug, and then plug to the wall and say, please let electricity take care of you.
Yes.
Because it's no longer about emotion.
No.
It's no longer about
attachment.
connection, connectivity. It's mechanical.
It's mechanical. And the danger with that, I know that this may sound, this, by the way, Bishop, you know when we talk, it's not for everybody.
But they are not here. It's me and you talking 20 years from now, 30 years from now. They say, listen to these two rascals talking. I don't mind. I'll be in the grave and dead. I don't mind about it. Let's talk as men.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk as men. Because when women and another woman goes to the shop and buys a vibrator that is this big, almost 3 times bigger than you, now you're worried now. How am I going to cope with this tool that is found in a shop, but it's not hanging between my legs?
Exactly, sir. And now you're competing with that because that's an expression of a desire. And then you realize that you're literally an object of fascination. You actually scratch the surface. You know, and we have these things. GBV, Bishop, is literally the displacement of the functionality of men that begins to express themselves at the angle of women. You said something very powerful. Historical trauma also causes GBV. When you are detached from your culture and you are detached from yourself and you do not know the historical context of where you are coming from. You said this, Bishop, and I must give credit to you. You said that if you are coming from ancient warriors in your bloodline that have blood and they would go to war and come with the heads of men and they would do that, and that is now a genetic signature within your bloodline, because there's what we call vicarious trauma. Vicarious trauma means I was not there but I'm affected by what was not there.
It's in my DNA.
It's in my DNA. And many of us can have the vicarious trauma and the taste of blood of warriors. Now you are violent, you are killing people, you don't understand that your bloodline was not cleansed. Your bloodline generational pattern was not confronted with. Now you are a violent being.
You are configured.
You are configured.
Your hands are built for war.
For war. Yeah. Your hands are soiled with blood. God said to David, you can't build the temple. You are a warrior.
Your hands are full of blood.
Are full of blood. The other day the Bible says David sat on his bed and he had scars on his body. When Solomon sat on the bed, it says his back was like the cheeks of a child, because all the scars that were supposed to be for the sons were on the father. So David says, my sons will never have scars. They must all be on me. The danger we have now is that we are born with scars that we should never have. And now a woman triggers anger in you of a warrior you don't know.
But you're saying something very fundamental, that if you are not careful in understanding your history, you may not appreciate your behavior in the present.
Yes.
And equally so for women, when we say do not marry a man when you don't know the graves of the grandfathers.
Absolutely.
Because by reading through the graveyard, you'll be able to find out how did Mkulu die? And this one, and this one. And by understanding 3, 4, 5 graves, you may just understand the DNA.
Come on, sir.
That is running in your husband.
Yes, sir.
That you are going to be marrying.
Yes.
Because by marrying a man, you are marrying the history of that man. Similarly, so to a woman. By marrying a woman, you are inheriting the history that is coming with her. And these two histories come together, breed a space for the children, for the next generation. If we don't know our history, we don't know our children. I've seen parents who get disillusioned when children behave in weird ways. Asmas lomtana tufuzuba. Asmas Nempel. You can't see your auntie here. You can't see your uncle here.
Absolutely.
You can't see your grandfather here. Because the very behavior that these children are manifesting, in as much as it is mild in your educated husband.
Yes.
But the DNA that runs
is there
in him.
Come on, sir.
Which came out through him to him, might still be expressing itself in the very aspect. For exactly 2 minutes or 3 minutes to take us through 1 in your books here. Gabamaf. I gibel. Start with significance.
Thank you,
in
sir.
2 lines.
Bishop, you wrote this to my forward here. This is the first book I wrote under your mentorship, your theology. It's a book for women to heal from brokenness. It's a book for women to find their
You are significant.
You are significant. I say that sometimes the only cure for a bad man is a better man, and that man is the discovery of yourself. So I think that this one was my first book. It's actually the highest selling book.
That's where you broke the hymen.
I broke the hymen. And then this one, Bishop, is literally the chief executive hustler. Use what you got to get what you want. These are 10 principles for you to literally be able to dominate and sit in high places. I speak about many dynamics of packaging yourself, having a voice, branding yourself in an African context. So this is literally in the executive space. And this is my favorite. Bishop wrote the forwards for all of them. This one is literally a book for black men only. I had to write a book for black men only. And I even put as a disclaimer that it will only be understood by 10% of the black population because it's very brutal, it's very broad. It says misandry, the devolution of men, and the covert war on the masculine principle, the saga of the persecuted penis. This literally tells us the economical homosexualization of the male man. That is a black man. That
Pastor Vincent Mafu will be back on this show. I think I need to bring him back for the demons in the man's mind. Your host for tonight is Maponga J. Chigarampoko Garamashamba Uda Chirana Wanavanji. Makumba Mana Wisindewe Shano and Chigarama Matandana or Chiwikitens Bugana Manga Pedro and Tabanacho. Tambor Paruare, Chirambak Sesram Ponango Kubafuzijina Wiramitia Sose. Tisu wacheni mangura na wapfuli vayo wanapembera na machira machena wana mshamba negore. Until we see again, don't do what I wouldn't do, but if you decide to do it better.